Hi everyone and welcome back. You make your CV perfect, but if you fail the demo lesson, then you are not getting a teaching job here in Dubai. But the secret is not to be a perfect teacher, but to know exactly what are those things which the school panel is looking for during your demo lesson in those 20-30 minutes. So in this video, I'm going to tell you 4 major things. We're going to start with what the Dubai school looks for. Second, how to approach and teach students in those 20 minutes. What you can do to impress the panel in those 20 minutes. And at the end, I'm going to tell you what are the most common mistakes which most of the candidate does during their demo lesson. Let's start with the first one. What Dubai schools are looking for. Remember the term EDAP. E-D-A-P. E stands for engagement. Now, when you enter the demo lesson, remember, you might get 10 to 20 students. And at the back, you might find the principal, the vice principal, and the head of the department, right? Now, when I'm saying engagement, what is the panel expecting an engagement means? That your lesson should be in such a way that it make thinking and learning visible. That means the activity and the lesson should be such that students are talking, students are thinking, and students are engaged, right? Okay. Now, how to do that? Whenever you're going to start a lesson, let's say, good morning everyone, and let's say the topic is speed and velocity, right? It's a science topic, right? Good morning everyone, today we are going to understand the difference between speed and velocity. No. Good morning everyone, today we are going to start the topic speed and velocity. No. This is not driving curiosity. My suggestion that always start your lesson with a question. So the starter activity of your lesson before introducing a lesson should be a question. I'll give you an example. Good morning everyone. Look at the screen and try to answer this question. You have 2 minutes to do that. Now what the question is, instead of directly putting difference between speed and velocity, the question is this. If Google Maps says it takes 20 minutes to reach your school, whether you go through a highway, straight highway, or whether you go in zigzag through the city, in which case do you think it has high velocity? Now, most of the students are going to say straight highway. And that's the misunderstanding. So with that question, what you have done is, first thing, you have showed the panel that this is a misconception. Second thing, by the end of the 20 minutes, you have to ensure that you clarify this misconception of the students, right? So I would suggest start with the starter activity. And the question should be something which is relatable, which drives curiosity, and which is answerable, okay? That's the first thing, E. Then let's go for D. D stands for differentiation. Now, when we say differentiation, in those 10 to 20 students, there will be some high achievers, there will be some low achievers, and there will be some middle achievers. So when you're going to go for a demo lesson, you will be planning an activity. And these activity will be having certain questions. Ensure that these task sheet that you have prepared, that activities that you have prepared should be differentiated. So there should be some task sheet which should have questions of higher order thinking, and there should be some task sheet which should have questions of a lower thinking, right? So when you're going to do an activity, you can give these high order or hot question to the high achievers and the other to the low achievers. But the question turns out to be that how would you know who is high achiever and who is low achiever? So that's the reason we started with the question. When you ask the starter question, everyone will not be able to answer, but there will be few who will be able to answer who are close. The moment you know that those who are able to answer, make them sit in a group. So these are high achievers. Rest maybe 6 in other groups. So these are low achievers, right? So when you're going to have the major activity, right, give the high achieving task to the high achievers and the other sheet to the low achievers. So you have showed differentiation. So that's another tick box. That means the teacher knows that everyone in the class is not at the same level, right? E, engagement. D, differentiation. Now A is assessment. When I say assessment, that means you need to know that whether the class is understanding or not. So instead of doing one last question at the end of the topic or end of 20 minutes, it's better to ask the question during the lesson, right? Okay. So how do I know that what I'm teaching they are actually understanding? So do a quick thumbs up. You can have a question, that like say a speed is a scalar quantity or a vector quantity. Those who think it's a scalar quantity, give me a thumbs up. Or you can have a true or false. Those who think it's a true, display one. Okay, this is an assessment, right? Check for understanding. How many of you think it's true? Give me a thumbs up. You can count. So you are making sure that everybody is at the same pace during the lesson. Okay, right? So thumbs up, thumbs down can be there. Think, pair, share can also be there, right? Okay. When you're using a think, pair, share, it's better to make it loud, make it visible. Let's say I'm going to give you 2 minutes to think, pair, share with your partner. Okay. And then I will get two answers, or I will take two answers from the class. Is that okay, right? So we are done with engagement, differentiation, assessment, right? That means keep on asking questions during the lesson, during your demo lesson, 20 minutes. And the last one is your professional presence. When I say professional presence, that means your voice. It should not be loud, it should not be very slow, it should be audible to the last bencher. Second, your body posture. Straight, not slouchy, right? Not very straight or erect, okay? Just comfortable. Make students comfortable, right? Okay. And the third one is the pace with which you are speaking, right? The pace, the speed. You should not sound like you're rushing. Okay, most of the time what happens, because of the time constraints, teacher tends to rush. Remember, you are not there to cover the entire topic. Okay, don't forget, you are there to show your teaching skills. Don't forget that, teaching skills. That means to build the rapport, to make them engage, to make them think, and to make them talk, right? Okay, so this is the first thing we are done. Okay, now tell me in the comments, please tell me that out of these four, which is your strong point, right? Okay, moving on to the next one, how to teach students. Now, you need to understand that there's a huge difference in a demo lesson and in your regular lesson. In your regular lesson, you know the students, you know you have 40 minutes and you can pace your lesson as per you. But in the demo lesson, you don't know the students. You have no idea who are the students, and you might get 50-20 minutes, right? Okay, and remember, the panel is also there at the back watching you, so that's an added pressure. So what I'm trying to say is, your goal is not to cover the whole topic. Your goal is to showcase your teaching skills. What do I mean by that? Means, can you make a quick rapport with the students? Can you explain clearly? And most importantly, can you make students talk and think? And that's the home run. If you can make students talk and think, that means you are done. You are selected. That's it. Okay, right? Then the third point is how to impress the panel. Now remember, to the students, you need to be approachable, engaging, and you need to be structured. That means you know how the lesson will go. Okay, and to the panel, you need to show that every activity has a reason behind it. For example, if you want to do a think, pair, share, right? Okay, let's say you're going to do think, pair, share. Don't just say, okay, now work in pairs. No. Instead, say in this way, I have put you in pairs because when you explain your thinking to someone, it actually makes your understanding stronger, right? So this is giving an idea to the panel that these are not the random activities to make them engage. She actually knows the reason behind the so-called activity, right? Okay. Now coming to the last part, which is what are the major mistakes which we see most of the candidate does. Okay. First thing, talking too much. You should not be talking more than 2 to 3 minutes. Good morning, everyone. We have a starter activity. Give me your responses. Then your major activity. Go to the low achievers. Don't go for the tick box. Actually, genuinely go to the low achievers. Get them feedback. Let them speak. Okay. Go to the high achiever. If they are able to do it, make them come on the board. Make them speak. That's totally fine. You can do that. This is showing your teaching skills. Okay, right? That's the second thing, right? Okay. First thing. So talking too much. Do not talk more than 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. At a continuous, right? Okay. Second thing, exit ticket. No exit ticket should not be a thing. That means, let's say your demo lesson is going on and you see after 15-20 minutes, the panel is standing up and they're going and saying thank you. So the moment they say, okay, that's enough, you should not just stop. You should not just leave wherever you are. You need to close the session. That means you need to have one exit ticket. When I say exit ticket, it's not supposed to be something on the PPT. You can just simply say, okay, so that will be all for today, class. But before we end it, tell me one thing that you learned today. Make it oral. Let them speak. Tell me one thing. And you by this time, you will get an idea who knows, because you have gone to the major activity. So you know, okay, let's say Samit or Muhammad, tell me what is that one thing you learned today. That's it, right? Okay. The third one is, as I said, ignoring the differentiation. Do not go with the same sheet to everyone, right? Don't ignore the mixed abilities. We have low achievers, we have high achievers. So your task should be differentiated. And the last one, the major one, is you are there to teach the students. Don't forget that. Okay, you're not there for the panel. So the biggest mistake the teacher does is they're focusing too much on the panel. The moment you start, you forget about the panel. Just keep on doing all these things, right? Okay, your goal is not to cover everything. Remember, your goal is to showcase these 4 key elements. Okay, if you want to know exactly how to build a demo lesson plan around, then watch this next video where I'm going to break down a full lesson plan template that you can download. And please do subscribe so that you don't miss anything important which I'm going to be sharing. Thank you so much. Good luck. All the best.